Good evening and thank you for joining us on the second episode of Designed. I'm Vivian Toh and this evening I'll be speaking to Shamsul Nashriq and Fariz Hanapiah from Motiofixo, which is an ideas agency from Kuala Lumpur. And joining us later on the show is our special guest, Ashley Yin, a young talent behind the Living Food Menu. Now a little bit of info about what Motiofixo is truly about. Motiofixo is an agency of ideas and a motion graphics studio co-founded by Shamsul, Fariz and Idril Mihad in 2007. All three of them met during their studies in Multimedia University with specialties in the areas of graphics, projection mapping, video productions, and anything related to new media. We are glad to have Shamsul, the Managing Director, and Fariz, Executive Creative Director from Motiofixo, on this show today to walk us through on how entrepreneurship and youth leadership can make a difference in managing a creative team. Good evening, Fariz and Shamsul.
Good evening. Hi.
Hi.
I understand that running a studio is a challenge to many designers out there. Why did you set up Motiofixo and how did you do it? Perhaps Shamsul can answer that?
Well, thank you for having me here tonight. It is really hard. I mean, the thought of setting up a studio is really, it's really big. It's a really big thing for young people like us, right?
Yeah, used to be young.
Yeah, but used to be young, but
Still young.
Yeah, still young. But we, when kita dah buat, then you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as hard as you think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
A bit
break
of push.
that barrier, break the wall, and then you'll see a very beautiful view out there.
I guess during the start, we didn't even think about having a studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about doing what you like to do, and how we're gonna do that is by setting up studio. It's like a secondary thing, but the priority is always to create stuff. And when I met my partners, it's all about I think that we could work together, three of us, and we could produce nice stuff. So, hence the birth of Motiofixo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing enough that even after 7 years, three of you are still together. And it's growing,
Kind
it's
of
getting
married.
bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But do you still remember the first time ever, three of you sat down and decided to name the company?
Oh, that was
That was really easy though. So
Yeah.
quite surprisingly. I mean, when people ask how did Motiofixo name came about, and then it's just easy. We just asked Fariz, and he came up with the name.
What does
As
it
easy
mean?
as that.
Because during the early days, it's all about doing motion graphics. So there's two words actually. There's motion and fix. So we fix the motion for you just to fancy it up. It's like Motiofixo. It's like yeah.
does sound-
but to us the name initially the name was not that important at that time.
Yeah.
As long as we have a name, we just want to do stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It does sound like Mojo Jojo to me.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
got the attitude in there.
But
We had
people-
one client calling us the Mojos for for some odd reason.
and
but-
we have funny stories that clients would always mispronounce our company, like Motiofixo or Motiofixo.
But along the way, we took it as we take it as a good ice-breaking session, because when how to pronounce a name, and then this is how we pronounce.
we had a list of mispronunciations by clients. We
For
used to have
example,
Motiofixo.
Motiofixo.
Yeah, we had a call. Is this Motiofixo?
But the
Like,
most
oh.
common one is motion fix,
Yeah,
motion
which
fix
is
and-
quite irritating sometimes, but it's all right.
Yeah.
that's the root word of the company, right? Motion fix.
Yeah, they found out about our root word. Yeah.
So when in
Amazing.
2007, three of you set up Motiofixo, were you still studying?
We have graduated for about more or less a year. It has been around. Three of us has been around for during the study times, doing our freelance stuff. But each of us, after graduating, we had our own day jobs, and we kind of
What have been the kind of jobs or projects that you have been doing for the past 7 years?
that's a long list.
But then, how do these projects come about? Did you go out looking for it? Or they just come to you because they spotted you online, they know your talent?
But when we started out, we sort of positioned ourselves as motion graphics company. So when we were talking about motion graphics, we talk about corporate videos, we talk about changing the whole typical corporate video thing, and then from there we sort of try to reinvent ourselves. So we always reinvent ourselves. So at that time, we positioned ourselves as a motion graphics company. And then, when motion graphics has been bombarded by within the scene, then we sort of reinvent ourselves to a visual communication company. And then, when visual communication has been bombarded again, then we took to the ideas agency.
Okay.
So that's how we always reinvent ourselves.
we
and
adapt to
try to be different in a way,
yeah.
but actually it's all the same thing.
So I guess let me put it this way. You started off by being well known for your skills, but now you want to be doing more on the conceptual part of the business. Is that right?
Yeah, in
Because
a way.
right
yes,
now you have been in the business for now. Back then was really just skills, and now you have to manage 21 staff.
Yeah.
When did that happen? That you tell yourself, look, we cannot be working on this by 3 of us now. We need to have more and more designers to do this for our clients.
Yes, as the demand grows, you're basically working like 24/7, and you can't be doing that all the time. So having I would say colleagues and actually building up this family of Motiofixo really helped each other in in easing, and also in terms of idea contributions. So the way we look for talents is to try to look for diverse skill sets, and also not only on technical skills, but also able to produce ideas. So all of us in Motiofixo are able to produce ideas, not only doing good in technical.
And we have always wanted to nurture new talent. So whenever we do our recruitment, the skills are just a few percentage of it. But the human side of it, the commitment, the dedication, that matters a lot to us.
Well, that comes to the next question. How would you know that this person that you are hiring are the one that you are looking for? Do you go through a rigorous process of selecting the talent? For example, do you offer internship?
Internship is the best way of finding out what exactly the guy or the girl has to offer lah. And I think most of our staff today is being recalled from the internship and become full-timers. So I think internship helped a lot. And also during the internship, it's like how do we detect like potential and stuff, is that the chemistry when they are inside the team, and how they actually talk to each other, and how they work amongst the current team. So that is a big part of the consideration as well.
And we also look into how the commitment wise. So whenever we have an interview, we sort of identify his opinions or her opinions about things, and we'll see how how the response like, and then if
we even ask like who's your favorite musician, and just to see where their exposure is at,
and we always look for energized type of people. So it's not like low self-esteem type of people to work with us.
Well, Motiofixo does a lot of projects, video productions for celebrities and musicians, right? Then you were saying that the talents that you hire have got to have at least a bit of knowledge in music. Is that really important? What if you come across a talent who does not have a knowledge in music, but do you think he or she will be able to fit into the culture?
That's one criteria. There's a lot more than just music. I think, it all depends on which area you want to master. So it's just an extra features that we will probably want to see in our staff.
Fariz, you are always seen doing things. Many things.
Really?
Yes, since I've known you. For like 5 years ago?
Yes,
Right, since
I guess
5 years
so,
for
yeah.
the design community. So I've known you as a friend, and you were supportive when my magazine CUTOUT came to be. Okay, and I'm really happy that you're doing well with Motiofixo. But here's the thing. For so long, what do you feel is missing in the creative industry?
What's missing? I think I wouldn't be so much negative on what's missing, but it's just about linking people, I guess. There's a lot of talented people out there, but they are not being linked to each other. I guess Malaysia is full of talented people, and there should be a platform like what this radio show is doing is actually try to promote design culture and try to find likewise people and gather them up. I mean that's the reason why we are all here, just to look at talents and try to gather them up. I think that is what we are trying to look at.
What would be the outcome from this link? We have this platform. What do you wish to see happening after this connection is built?
Collaboration, I guess. Yeah.
Collaboration, and we can raise the bar. Trying to expose the Malaysian design scene in the global market. So that is very important.
So then it will not only be not only revolve around the creative industry, but also you're saying that designers have to move forward and go beyond just knowing how to design, but to learn about
network.
Network and learn
and
about
also
engineering and science, chemistry.
Yes.
Exactly.
I would say if you are a designer, you don't only read computer arts, I guess. You can read popular science, something that is out of the comfort. Because, if you go do things the way it should be traditionally, you become factory workers, you won't evolve. There's a lot of different industry, and we need to really, work together to produce hybrids, people that is.
But as far as Motiofixo,
so
the way we treat our employees, the staffs, our designers especially, we help them. I mean, they have all the skills, the necessary skills to do any job that we give. But at the same time, it's our job to build their career path. So from a designer, they have to network around with other designers, and perhaps in the future, the career path that they are building towards something, So you don't become a graphic designer for the next 20 years. You should have this one goal that one day you'll become an art director or a creative director, perhaps, in the future.
We are going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll delve deeper into the kind of activities that, the CSR initiative that was kickstarted by Shamsul and his other partner and the team at Motiofixo. You're listening to Designed on Bernama Radio24. This episode is brought to you by Motiofixo. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Design on Bernama Radio24. I'm Vivian Toh, and on this show this evening, we are speaking to Shamsul Nashriq and Fariz Hanapiah of Motiofixo. Earlier, we were talking about how these two guys and his other partner, Idril, had started off with their company called Motiofixo, and there have been lots of ups and downs, I suppose.
Yeah, totally.
And I guess because of this, with all the frustrations, positive and negative energy altogether, they've decided to come up with a CSR initiative that has been recently launched, I suppose. Shamsul, would you like to talk about that?
Well, we had this CSR initiative called Have Faith Malaysia or Yakin Malaysia. The idea behind it is basically we were surrounded. I mean, for recently, we were surrounded with all these negative comments about the country, the unstable. I mean, macam politik yang tak berapa stable and so on. So I think from there, and then we had a few friends, talking about their frustration about the government and frustration about the other side, the opposition side. So I think from there, we had this a bit of frustration that we are frustrated with frustrated people. Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, let's channel it out. So we need a channel for it. So let's create a campaign out of it. So to instill positivity towards a progressing Malaysia. So because when people are killing each other in politics and in other areas, so it kills progress. So we want a progress, matured thinking Malaysian. So that's why we create.
How would this Have Faith Yakin Malaysia campaign be able to change that?
Well, it has to start somewhere. So we started out. I mean, when we started out, we people had speculated as being funded by one side and being one-sided, and then people had also accused us for trying to persuade Malaysians to duduk diam.
You yourself, why do you think it's important? Why must it be you to start it?
Well,
I mean, because we're designers basically. We start off designing, so I think that this campaign lies heavily on how graphic design could solve problem. So in terms of Motiofixo, how we look at this project is creating our own campaign. Instead of waiting for client to give us a campaign to work on, so we created our own campaign. So we heavily use graphic design as a tool for us to convey a message, a positivity message to the people. And it turns out that our design has attracted a lot of youngsters,
a lot of parties actually,
a lot of parties even. And I think that's one part of it. And the other part of it is actually to do events such as the Hall of Faith, where we invite people to come and have a panel discussion. So that is one.
We have a branded content called Hall of Faith, and we had also organized our 1 year celebration, a year of faith. So just to it's a channel for us to express whatever we feel, as long as it's positive.
To?
Generally Malaysians, just to get to know more about the philosophy of the country. So I think it's all about getting inside each one of us as a Malaysian and really re-look into what it takes to be a progressive Malaysian. So during the Hall of Faith that we invite politicians and all that, but they do not talk about politics.
Is it some kind of a history lesson,
not
but
really
in a different way?
It's just a revisit, a revisit about nationhood. So the philosophy behind nationhood.
So when politicians come by, they do not talk about politics. They do not talk about issues,
but they talk
more
about
on the philosophical side of being a Malaysian and why they are there. And everyone has a role.
And we talk about nation building. So at the end of the day, despite all the arguments and the clashes, at least they agree on certain things. So that
try to find a common ground that we can be united again.
Exactly.
So for this CSR initiative, we call it Have Faith Yakin Malaysia. Who have been the parties, or for example, the designers that you have been in collaboration with?
Well, when we had our a year of faith, we called up a few design community collaborators like Johor, and then what else?
Kuku Besi, My Harapan.
So
and
all
we had
these
musicians.
we had musicians to perform.
At one point, it was like a gig happening there.
It was youthful.
Singing patriotic songs.
So, the bands that we called was Pita Hati and also Salam Music, which I guess their music instills a lot of nation kind of building in the lyrics.
And we started singing Negaraku before the Hall of Faith, so that was, I mean, to
it must have been really emotional.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Before it's official, now that it is official to sing Negaraku in occasion, but we started it. So that's an achievement for us.
Have Faith Yakin Malaysia campaign is a kind of movement to correct the mindset.
To correct the mindset, I think it's a bit harsh, but I think it's just try to instill positivity. So there's no right or wrong, but at least the effort is there. So,
But how is it relevant to the creative industry? I am sure that Motiofixo, like a total of 21 people, including yourselves, are working on this as agents of change in wanting good things to happen in Malaysia. But how can, say, these people, followers of Have Faith Yakin Malaysia, be more involved in it rather than just being a spectator?
well, just spread the faith.
Yeah, just spread the faith. And,
Spread
and
the
some of our events, we do call up for volunteers, and we announce in our Facebook, and just there's a lot of them coming by, and even during these small events that we had a night before, try to do the print out of the poster, and we're all just being creative and do a cut out version of the logo, hand logo, if you see from our website.
And we also allow comments. I mean, comments about nation building, so they can share what are their thoughts about nation building and how to progress and so on. So,
And
I
I think the way we do it is very organic. It's based on how people comment on this campaign as we go along.
Yeah, we just want people to, rather than you just burst it out about your negative frustration and so on, try to make it more positive. At least if you want to criticize, make it a constructive
one.
Yeah, make it constructive, and you don't just
Not being a keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
What are the plans for the campaign right now? What can we expect?
At the moment it's on idle mode because we were busy with other stuff.
Back to business.
Other stuff, but
the next one will be
sure,
will be on Urbanscapes.
Yeah,
We're gonna be there on Urbanscapes, and we're gonna have a few people doing activities. We haven't finalized what sort of activities we're gonna do, but that will be on the 23rd.
That will be on
November.
It would be fun to see this campaign to have more support from the designers themselves, like people like you all together. They also run a studio themselves, and coming together and making it, giving it a bigger impact. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we need collaborators from the design community, and we had collaborations with some of the designers out there working some of the designs for Have Faith Yakin Malaysia's project. So I think it's going smooth lah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
It's a good portfolio.
Yeah, it's a good portfolio for us. So, yeah, exactly.
By doing a campaign like this, does it really generate you like referrals?
Yep, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, from our. I mean, it's.
Well, are
by
they the
itself,
kind
it's
of
a
people that
campaign.
you want? Sometimes you got to think whether this is the right campaign to do so. Will it attract the right people, the right kind of clients
Well,
to you?
that is a secondary plus, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of that's not our main point of doing this.
We just need an outlet, to spread this positive thinking. So we believe that there are people out there having the same thought. I mean, thinking positive about, despite all this negativity surrounding us.
Yeah.
We believe that there are people out there having the same thought.
It's our CSR, lah, basically.
Yeah.
So, running a CSR campaign for your own company also needs a bit of foundation on how to choose the right theme or topic to do. So, do you have tips for designers wanting to run their own CSR initiative? Where should it start first?
It should start by asking yourself in what role that you should play, I guess, and what. I mean, it has to be a passionate one. It shouldn't be a CSR for the sake of being just CSR.
Yeah.
You have to believe.
The intention must be right.
Must be right, and you have to really believe in it.
And also have the discipline to pull through.
Sorry.
Discipline.
Yeah,
Like, really have to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you must share your thoughts to other people and see how they think about it. If it's a go, then just go for it.
You just have to look at things at a bigger picture. It's not about you waking up and do work and you receive a salary and just
it cannot be something
grow
personal.
So the bigger picture, as a human being, as a Malaysian, what should you do?
One last word from Shamsul. Shamsul, you coming from a business, not from a business background, but as a creative person dealing more with clients from the aspect of business, what is the situation now in the creative industry? What do you see is happening? Like, if put on your business thinking cap, what do you see?
I think in the field that we're working in, I think the clients are starting to understand the nature of our work, so they see the value in it. I mean, of course, we had some hiccups from the clients, but today most of our clients are understand, and they allow us that sort of creative freedom, so we can just present to them good ideas, and then they can just accept it as long as it meets their objective and so on. I think it's a good prospect for us as well.
You just have to. It's about reputation building. So you have to. You're dealing with design, so you have to make yourself look good sometimes, even though it maybe not so during the early days, but you still have to do that. I mean, that...
Suit up.
Suit up. Take an effort just to, do not look like, those artsy kind of...
Yeah. Those were the days, Fariz.
Yes.
So, suit up and comb your hair, although I do not necessarily comb my hair.
But we had come to a stage where the clients know us for our signatures, and I think from that it's easier for us to just roll and present some good ideas in there.
We just spoke to Shamsul Nashriq and Fariz Hanapiah, the Managing Director and Executive Producer, respectively, from Motiofixo, an ideas agency from Kuala Lumpur. If you're interested to find out more on Motiofixo, do check out their website at motiofixo.com. That is MOTIOFIXO.com. Thank you so much, Motiofixo, for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
We are not completely done yet. Coming up next is Ashley Yin, our special guest this evening, where she will share with us her thoughts on designing life around food on Bernama Radio 24. This is